Hi guys, happy Sunday with Satan. That still cracks me up every time I say that, because it's not true, so laugh with me. Alright, so, why doesn't magic always work? How come? How come prayers don't always work? How come spells don't always work? Okay. Love magic is very, very touchy. They should be done with the most pure intent possible. That is the only way. And then if you're trying to coerce somebody, or you are going to command somebody to love you, they have free will. So, they may come to you. They may come to you. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's always hit and miss with love magic. Always. There's no guarantees. Ever. Ever. So, if you're trying to mess with somebody's free will, which does not always work, it's touchy. It's a very touchy subject. If you're trying to mess with somebody's free will, it's not for the greatest good. So you're gonna end up with, you're either gonna get that person and it's gonna turn bad, or it can go completely great. So you have two ways. You can go good, it can go bad, or nothing at all. So why? Well, in voodoo, Haitian voodoo, I was taught everybody deserves to be with somebody that they love. Everybody deserves love, and that's very true, but you don't want to force somebody to fall in love with you. You can't. That's like trying to buy love. You can't do it. You can help the situation by praying for the love that you need, praying for if you're unhappy with yourself and you're bouncing from person to person to person with love magic, within love magic, then you need to learn to love yourself first. There's something inside of you that is missing. You're not fully complete, and you're not completely happy with inside yourself. So that's the first step, is to get comfortable and love you. You have got to go to bed tonight, at night, not tonight, but at night. And you have got to be comfortable going to bed with you before you can go to bed with anybody else, if that makes any sense. So, what was I going to say? They do work. They do work. I'm just saying, a lot of, well, somebody came back to me. Now they're gone. Well, the spell did its job. The spell did its job. It was obviously the situation was obviously, everything worked. It was good. But then once the spell works, it's up to the person that didn't do the spell. So say I did a love spell for you. The person came back to you, but the person left you. Okay, that's not my part. That's your part. It takes two. So it's just me trying to help you obtain your goal, but you have got to realize, people have got to realize that magic does not cure or fix everything. It takes a lot of hard work. You have got to actually show action besides just doing a spell or relying on somebody to do a spell for you. So when I do magic for people, when I do spells, when I do rituals for people, I work them. I work them and I work them and I work them, and I keep working them until we get results. Now, if the results are negative, we can go back and we can try to get them more positive. It's so touchy with love magic. It is so touchy because you're messing with somebody's free will. That's the whole thing. You can't really influence somebody that much. I mean, there is a part of them. They have, we have that spiritual part that can, influence them. which would be us with our magic, our spells, which would be obsessing that person's free will. So basically what a love spell is doing is obsessing a person to think about you. If you are demanding them to come to you, if you're demanding. So that is why I always, I don't do them for myself. They always turn bad, obviously. Magic gone wrong. So it's best, I mean, if you do have a specific person in mind, don't command them that they come to you. Just work on it yourself. Sure, prayer and magic, spells, all of it. Spells, prayers, magic, ritual, all the same. All spells are prayers with prompts, just like the Catholic Church. Lighting the candles and praying to the Virgin Mary, that's a spell. You're lighting your candle, you're doing your candle magic. So that's the whole concept. Source has given us free will. Source, spirit, God, goddess, whatever you want to call it, has given us free will. So the person's weak enough, yes, I believe that the spell will work on them. If they're pretty strong within themselves, no, I don't think so. So if my spells do work for people, but you have negative repercussions, that's because you are commanding them and messing with their free will. You are just completely messing with their free will. So that is why some love magic does not work. So I do have more spells to do. I do have more workings to do today. And then there's also, you have got to have it in your mind. You have got to have that in your mind. I don't want to incorporate The Secret in this because I really don't like that book, because there's so much more to it than just wishing it. You just can't wish for something and then magically it falls in your lap. It doesn't work that way. You have to actually go out and you have to actually work for it. So I do the spell for so-and-so. They have to, in turn, work with me they have to talk to the other person. Don't expect them to just one day say, oh, I'm completely in love with you. It doesn't work that way. So you have to work at it yourself too. You have to pray. You have to do your own candles too. So there's all kinds of elements that fall into that category. So I don't want people thinking, well, my spells aren't working because, free will. They are, but there's still the concept of free will. So as long as you have a pure intention for it, a pure intention, and always put in for the greatest good of all and in the best possible way, so you don't have so much of a backlash, because you do get a lot of backlash from that, from love magic. So I would really suggest that the love magic that I do for people, that you work on yourselves too. Don't just ignore the person that you're wanting. Don't ignore them. Talk to them. Be nice. Be civil. Have conversations. Invite them for coffee. Do that kind of thing. So you have got to back up your actions with faith, blind faith, magic, and just know that it's going to happen. And if it doesn't, it's okay, because it's for the greater good of yourself and for the other person too. So if it doesn't happen, say it could be because that relationship could lead you into alcohol, drugs, drug abuse, an abusive relationship. It could lead to domestic violence. So you have all kinds of factors to take in when you are controlling somebody else with magic, and especially in love, because love is natural. So you can always give it a little push though, just a little oomph to get it going. So if everything is there between the two people, then yes, of course. But if it's not meant to be, it's just not meant to be. It's not going to happen. So that is why a lot of people's magic fails. They do not back up their actions. They don't even take action to try. If I was doing a spell on somebody that I wanted to be with, I would light a candle. I wouldn't force them. I would keep my intentions pure. I would not force them. I would ask God, Goddess, Source, to kind of just, if there's that possibility of that person, kind of make it, if so, make them come together. So you have the possibility. It's always a 50-50. It could go either way, or it can just do nothing. So that is why magic does not work, because people do not take action. You have got to take action with your magic, with your spells, just like prayer. People ask why. We pray, everybody prays for, peace in the entire world. Well, that'll never happen. Never. Not until the end of days, or the end of our existence, or until we move on to the next life, or incarnate again, or return to Source, God, Goddess, whatever you want to call it. So, that is why. A lot of factors have got to go into your magic, your spell. And it's a lot more complicated than just lighting a candle and praying. So say, for instance, okay, why isn't all these bombers and suicide people that blow up innocent people, why isn't God, Source, Spirit, taking them out of the whole picture? Well, free will. Source and God never intervene with free will. Now, demons and daemons, demon, which means a knowing one, which is not evil, and a daemon is what you turn a demon from into a daemon. So you guys all already know that. And yeah, so free will. No. God will never interfere with your free will whatsoever. That's like taking somebody out of their culture, that they say you lived in the jungle for your entire life, and then you were just placed in New York City. You would not know how to live. You would die. You would die. Same with the bomber people. If they were all moved into a peaceful situation, they wouldn't know how to act. None of them would know, because they are so conditioned to that negativity that it's contagious. So they would just literally, that is internally taking away what they have inside. So it would be very bad for the person. They don't have a chance to try to even change, because they're so conditioned that way. And the same thing with spells. You have got to back your stuff up. You've got to work at it. So I do love spells for people, yes. Yes. Healing spells, yes, of course. But you have always got to back your actions up. So you have got to, you can't doubt it. Don't doubt it. Ignore it. It is the best thing to do, to ignore the spell. Act like it never happened. Forget it. That's the best way. Just totally forget it all and see where that gets you. It's a lot better. So say you are trying to bring that person into your life. Are you mimicking the actions of having that person in your life? Getting caught. Are you mimicking within your mind set? Are you making room? Not literally making room, but making room for that person. Can you see yourself with that person? Can you see yourself living with that person? Can you see yourself in your bed with that person? Can you see yourself in your mind imagine all this and really get that visualization going, so that you can have that in your subconscious mind, so that it can be planted in the astral and then manifest into the physical. So it's tough. It's tough. So you have to kind of mimic, act like, think like you already have it. So you have got to think and act and feel that you've already got it. So say I did say I needed 20 grand. for, I don't know, a donation for no child hungry, no kid hungry. And I didn't have that money. So I would go ahead and I would do a spell for finances, for money. But then I would also, I would have to back all that up. So I would have to go out and I would have to ask people, for the cause, for no kid hungry. The Kickstarter and all that GoFundMe stuff online here. You can do all that. So you have to take action with your spells, with your magic, or you just will not get anywhere. So that is why half the time magic fails. And then people get really pissed off at you. They get really mad. Well, it didn't work. Well, what did you not do? Did you not follow my instructions? Did you not, think? And then there's the possibility of almost having too much going on. Too much magic, too much love spells, too many spells going on all at once. That's just there's so much energy and so much intention going on that you can't keep up with what's going on. And everything just starts to go every which way. So it's just chaos, pure chaos. So you have got to go on to your actions. You have got to back all your actions up. You have got to have the faith, or it won't work. It won't work. You have got to believe it. You have got to know. It works either way. If you don't believe it or not, magic works. Just like prayer. Just like prayer. Felt my whole head shift. So yeah, you have got to have that faith inside of you to back that up. And you can't self-doubt yourself. You can't self-doubt the spell. That it lessens it. It's like a dis-ease, or it's like a parasite. Doubt, fear, all the negative junk in your brain is like a parasite eating away at your intention and at yourself. And it's going to make you go crazy. Not crazy, but it's going to piss you off. And then your spell's not going to work. You're not going to see results. So you've got to have action. You've got to have a plan. You've got to have faith backing everything up. So that is why, that is the biggest reason that magic does not work. It's because people do not follow it with actions. They think just because the candle's lit, it's going to magically happen and fall into their lap. No. If you fill out an application online for a job, do you go to your altar and pray that they call you? Or do you call within a couple days and check up and say, I was just curious about my application. If you'd like to set up an interview, I would be more than happy. If you're doing a love spell for somebody, if I'm doing a love spell for you, you have got to also work with me. So the person that you want to be with, ask them out for coffee. Start small. Friends, become friends, and then see if that leads to anything else, anything romantic. If it doesn't, and you have a good friend from the whole thing, that's love. So it did work, but only in a different way. So always remember that free will with any kind of magic. So I think that a lot of people should know that. Not a lot of people tell you that. The books do not tell you that. Everybody wants right now, instant gratification. And it doesn't work that way. It just does not work that way. So, what else was I going to say? Yeah, just be patient. Patience, just like with the Ouija board, you've got to have patience. You've got to have patience, you've got to have faith, you've got to act on that faith and follow it and know that it's going to happen. And try your best at not forcing somebody to try to love you. Do it for just a push, a small push. Don't jump and run, right into marriage if you don't even know the person. So, if your spell's not working, if it didn't work, and that person leaves out of your life completely, there could be a very good reason for that. It could be source, it could be a spirit guide, it could be your own subconscious mind distracting you, detouring you away from that spell because that person was negative, or it was not going to work out. So, that's the thing. That is the thing. A long time ago, I was watching something on witches. I have it on videotape, on VHS. Yes, I do have a tape player, a VCR. It was about witches in New Orleans, and they were in the French Quarter. A woman did a love spell to get the man. She got him. He turned into a stalker. Stalked her, continuously stalked her, raped her. So you see how it can be very bad at certain points. So always shoot for the greater good of everything, of yourself, of the person, all of it, because you don't want to ruin your life, because you can. Yeah, magic is very real, and it's very dangerous. So, but I don't want to scare anybody away from it, because by simply lighting a candle and praying for somebody, that is sending out energy to a specific person. So that specific person is receiving that healing or that love that you're giving them. So, I just thought people should be aware of this. So that is why magic does not work. That's why it won't work. If you don't believe, if you don't have faith, just like prayer. Look, if you're Christian, if you're Catholic, if you're Baptist, if you're Protestant, Jehovah's Witness, I don't care. It always says good things will come to those who wait. Patience is a virtue, and it really is. It really, really is, especially within magic, because the longer you wait, the better results you will have. The more educated you are, the more you know, it's a little more dangerous. It is a little more dangerous. The more educated you are and the more you know on magic, it is dangerous. That is why I don't do them for myself. Love spells. Because I know how dangerous they are and I know what happens. I know what I attract. Yeah. So, I don't want people to think, well, my spell didn't work. Yes, it did. But are you taking a step back to see, why it didn't work the way you wanted it to? Is there a possibility that that other person could be a crazy lunatic? So, and then just make sure to keep the faith. Keep that alive inside yourself. Always visualize the outcome. Don't visualize the process, because it'll be a continuous pattern. You have got to visualize and see clearly in your mind's eye the outcome, the final outcome of everything. So just see it. See yourself with somebody. Don't make a specific person. Just write down the attributes that you would like in a person. And if you have stuff inside of yourself that you need to work on, that list will tell you. It will definitely show you. You will have your list of the attributes that you want in somebody else. What attributes do you have in yourself that you could work on? So, you guys kind of see it. It can be very psychological too. So, and science is finally catching up with it. And I think that's awesome. Science is catching up with magic. So it's very, very real. But you have got to take action. Action will get you somewhere. No action and just lighting candles and saying a few chants without feeling, without faith, without that energy, building that energy up and sending that energy out. If you don't do that, then nope, forget it. So that is why magic fails. That is why love magic is dangerous. So I hope that clears up just a little bit, tiny bits for Everybody. That is why my spells don't work. My love spells, because I won't do them. I mean, they'll work, but I don't do them because I will attract somebody that is completely not good for me. So it's always inside of yourself. Always look inside yourself first and examine yourself and see. Are you making a conscious effort, to invite that person into your life? Are you ready to receive that kind of love? Or do you need love, like a parental kind of love? Or do you need a friendship type of love? Or do you need to love yourself? You have got to figure those things out, especially with like financial issues. If you're doing spells for jobs and you're not calling and you're not, checking up and, doing what you should be doing like a normal person, just because you just spell doesn't mean it's going to fall in your lap. You've got to follow up with everything. Just like healing magic, always go to your doctor first. Never ever rely on faith healing. I have a very good example of one guy that I do know that relied on faith healing alone, and quit taking all of his or her, I can't remember if it was a man or a woman, quit taking his or her blood, diabetic medication, blood pressure, I don't know, and relied only on the Bible for God to heal him or her. And it just, always go to your doctor first and then do your magic to help. It is meant to work together in conjunction. It is meant to work together. And even a lot of doctors now are looking at alternatives. Okay, well, how can we, help even more? A lot of hospitals, the Hospital of St. Jude, I think, I don't know, the cancer center, I don't know if you guys see that commercial. They have spiritual help after the actual medical help. So, medical comes first. Always, 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 always. Never rely on faith healing alone. Always go to your doctor. Always, always, always. Because it can be life-threatening. It can be a life-threatening situation, like Emily Rose, for example. They relied on their faith. What happened? She died. If she would have went to the doctor and got proper care, proper medications, and then they followed up with prayer in conjunction, she probably would have still been alive. And I think that was proven too. I think that was proven with that woman, with Emily Rose. Just like on the news a couple days ago, some mom smothered her kids to death in the back seat of the car because God told her to. It was time for them to go to heaven. That's crazy stuff. So always, always, doctor first. Make sure you do it for for yourself, for the best possible cause, the greatest good of all. Always do that first, always. And I mean, if you can't, get the person yourself, work on you. You have to work on you first. Love yourself first. Love your family. Draw that love into you. And make it happen. Make it happen. Just like me. My book, I talked about it forever and forever and forever. Well, it wasn't going to write itself. Even though I felt like it did. It didn't write itself. I put all that work into that. I put all that work into that. But I also had help. I had my grandma channeling with me. I had help from the board. I would go on the board and I would say, well, okay, what do you think about this topic, Canny? And she would say, well, why don't you try to explain it in a way this way? Or, it's never, don't do this, don't do that. It's, well, why don't we try to do it this way? Or try another way? Or here's an exercise for you to try. Try meditating for a minute and see what comes to you. Dream on it. Sleep on it. Dream on it. So it's always a very positive, inspirational message. So you will get the best out of all of your magic if you do it that way. If you do it that way. So it can be a very good tool. Very good tool. Just differentiate between movie magic, real magic. Just like with Ouija. I love it. Still love it. I still love it. Just like the priest said that the spiritual world is very real. God gave us, Spirit Source, God, Goddess, gave us the power to discern, to go in and speak to these spirits, but we have to discern whether they are good or whether they are going to try to trick us, obsess us, that kind of thing. So that's basically why magic doesn't work all the time. It doesn't always work. It depends on the person, the situation, everything. So much goes into it that people don't understand. And it does take time. Lots and lots of time. Some spells can take years. Some spells happen overnight. So, patience. Patience, patience, patience. So, and this is only for your guys' good. The greatest good. And this is just, last night I had a dream of the Dalai Lama. And he didn't say anything, but he took his prayer beads and he had them in his hand, he had them wrapped in his hand, and he grabbed my hand. And I just felt so much peace. And it was almost like that's what he imparted, but it was not the current Dalai Lama, it was the one that is in the spirit realm now. So it was a very, very, very real, very good dream. It kind of opened my eyes a little more to magic, to love magic, to be precise. So, very good dream. Yeah, it was totally the Dalai Lama before. I don't know if it was, no, it was not the one right now. It was not him. It was one that had died before. So it was very, very strange. It was a very good dream. It felt very peaceful. I mean, he had just this smell about him. It was like incense, a temple. It felt so incredibly amazing. And then I woke up at 8:30 and I was like touching my prayer beads. It was just so amazing and so real. So very real. So that is why. That is my point on magic. So I hope that helps. I hope that it helps at least one person understand that it takes you, all of your 5 senses, all of your 6 senses, everything. You have got to feel it in your being and know that it's going to happen. Like for me, when I go into a Ouija session, I know I'm going to get my grandma. Always. I always know it's going to be a great session. Boom. Put my hands on the planchette, starts to move. There we go. Boom. Perfect session. I always get a perfect session. It's because I believe it. My intentions, they're backed up by 21 years of incredible spirit communications. And doing this for so long. So long. So that is, yes, patience. Patience. I think I'm going to write a why magic doesn't work type deal. I'll type it up. So it's a little more in depth. than just me talking and showing you and pointing my hands and stuff. So yeah, that's why. That is why your magic will fail. Promise. But if it doesn't, good. Keep the faith, be patient, and always know that good things come to people that wait. And that's very true too. Sometimes you have to go out on a limb and try to get what you want. That's basic psychology of the brain. What do they call it? You go into instant survival mode. So you're, if you feel alone, most men don't want to be alone. Can't be alone. Me, I can be alone. Most men, no, they have got to have somebody to be with. That's because they're not comfortable within themselves, being by themselves. That's fact. That's psychology 101. So, I honestly think a lot of people should study a little more psychology to understand it better. It makes more sense when you take psychology and you compare it with magic and science. It just makes so much more sense. It's perfect. It's just all meant to be. It all comes into one. So, that's my lecture for the day. Great lecture, huh? So, but yes, your magic you will have great success if you keep that faith and you act on it, and you just don't say, okay, I'm going to light a candle and then I expect $20 million to fall in my lap. You have got to go out and you have got to do something to do that, to get that money. You can't just rely on a candle. That is just the physical representation and anchor from the spiritual world into the physical, or into the physical, from the physical into the spiritual world. That's your anchor. So it's anchoring you. It's connecting the worlds. It's bringing out what you want. So that's all I have to say about the love magic and why it doesn't work. And no, you don't have to do spells before you use a Ouija. I don't know who said that to me, but somebody asked me if you had to. No. If you want, you can pray. Whatever faith you are, whatever religion, I don't care. Get out your Bible, get out a cross, holy water, if you feel safe. Use the board. Do any kind of prayers you want. Ask God to come down, protect you, keep you safe. Ask for your angels, your guides, stick to one spirit. Don't try to talk to 20,000 different spirits. It's windy. And yeah, patience. Patience, study, practice, and patience. Thought and your will are the driving force of creation, because you do create your own reality. So, look inside yourself first. Write down everything negative that you feel, and then look outside. Look around yourself and see if you can relate any of those negative feelings to anything that's negative in your life. And then you can work on that. That's magic. That's magic. That's alchemy. That's true alchemy. Transforming the dirt, the coal, into gold. Alchemy. Pure basic alchemy and psychology 101. So, alright guys. I hope that helped. Some. I could go on. I really could go on for a couple more hours. I have a lot to say about that. But, yes. Alright, I'll see you guys here in just a second. I think I have a little surprise. I'm not sure. So I'll see you guys here in just a second, so don't leave me. Alright, guys. Ta-da! Ouija. Alright. So she's through. She's here. My grandma. Alright. Ganny. Okay, do you have any good messages or anything that you would like to tell anybody? Anything to inspire us? M. R E. More. A C T I O N O N E V E R Y B O D Y S P A R T W I L L M A K E T H E W O R L D A B E T T E R P L A C E L E T Y O U R H S G U I D E Y O U S O U R C E I S R A D I A T I N G L O V E M A N U R E I N T O P E R F U M E P E R F E C T I O N A T I T S B E S T I L O V E A L L O F Y O U V E R Y M U C H Alright. Thank you, Ganny, for coming through. Alright, guys. That was her message. I don't know what she said. I have no idea. It went way too fast for me. So, I will see you in just a second. Alright, guys. Don't know what she said. It was too fast. So hopefully it was a good message. So, I wanted to end that today with a little bit of a Ouija session, just for a positive message. And I don't know what she said, so I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to write it all down. Blah. Unless somebody else wants to do it. No, I'm joking. So, alright guys. That was fun. So, alright, I have some work to do. So, thank you guys for watching very, very, very much, and I love you guys very much. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Well, rest of your weekend. And yeah, I love you all very much, and thank you guys for watching. So, I will see you all tomorrow. And make sure you go out and watch Ouija. Origin of Evil. Awesome. Perfect movie. Perfect family movie. Very good. And The Monster. It's on DirecTV. Very good movie. Awesome movie. All good family movies. American Mary is a very good family movie. It was a romantic comedy. So, alright guys. Little movie suggestions. So, I love you all very much. And everybody have a great day.